Well, I wanted to introduce James Ketchum. He's from Edge Theory, and James has been thoughtful enough to offer us a training on social media. And each week we're covering something different. And this week is going to be on Twitter engagement, which is huge. So I'm very grateful that James is doing this for Team Shooting Stars. And thank you, James.
Yes, happy to do it. Yeah, so we are recording. So if you are joining us later after the fact, thank you for taking the time to do that. As Moira said, tonight is all about Twitter engagement, which is, I think, is the number one thing that I hear from people when they sign up for Soundboard is, I'll see all this stuff happening on Twitter, but I'm not quite sure what to do with it. So that is the purpose of tonight. So when we're thinking about our 5 pillars of the social media success steps that we've been looking at, this is, of course, what do you do with the conversation? Soundboard is tweeting for you. It is growing your organic follower base. You are picking up likes and retweets and things like that. So how do you capitalize on those? So the first and easiest way that Soundboard gets you found, and that you can also take advantage of the open nature of Twitter, is through a hashtag. And some of you may be familiar with hashtags from other social media platforms. They were born on Twitter and have since been adopted pretty much across the web. So you're probably familiar with them. But a hashtag functions as a conversation unifying tool. It is actually a link. When you start typing pound and then creating a word or phrase, as long as you don't put spaces or punctuation, that whole thing becomes the hashtag. So you'll see people being funny and clever and witty and making up their own hashtags. You know, I love one apple every day, and they'll put no spaces in it, and it's hard to read sometimes if they don't put any capitalization in it. But the larger focus of what people do with them is to use existing ones so that they can get found alongside everybody else who's talking about a particular topic. And this is the way we gear it at the Soundboard team, because we want you to get found by people who aren't looking for Juice Plus, who don't know who you are, but we want your content in line with the larger conversation. Now, when you're thinking about making up a hashtag, they can be funny and they can catch on, but if you do so, you need to include a second hashtag in your message that is an active one so that your stuff can get found. Because if you make up a brand new hashtag and nobody else is using it, you're kind of shouting in an empty room, because nobody else has the capacity to find it since nobody else is using it. So keep that in mind. There is such thing as too many hashtags in a message, because then it just gets a little hard to read. I think 3 to 4 is probably about the limit. You see poorly written messages and it's just 7 or 10 or 12 hashtags only, and it doesn't even make sense. It's just words because they're just trying to get picked up. Here's a good example of just a pretty straightforward tweet. You've got 3 hashtags in it. Of course, social media facts is a semi-popular one. Snapchat's huge, and hashtag selfie, of course, is huge. So let's go ahead and hop over here, and I'll show you, how it works. When you search, you can search for anything, and when you start typing, Twitter will begin to recommend something. And of course, I search for this all the time. So let's see if we can pick something else. So I'm gonna type veggie, but as you start typing, Twitter suggests things that are active already, and so you never know what you're going to find if you type slowly. I think this is a good idea and a good way to look for active hashtags if you want to tweet on your own and include some information or a particular hashtag in a tweet. So let's just hit this. This is live Twitter, so we never know what's going to happen here. But we've got, these are probably going to be a lot of recipes. Yep. So we've got Humane League. So anyway, I was thinking going hashtag veggie, but I changed my mind. Now, this is something that is going on right now, and this is National Nutrition Month. Nutrition Month. So this is a planned hashtag, and this is the other thing I wanted to point out about hashtags is, yes, they can go viral, they can catch on. There's long-standing ones that are good every day, hashtag healthy choices. But organizations plan hashtags ahead of time and announce them because they want people to get behind them. And so this is something that the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics announced before Christmas even. I knew this was coming. And so the month of March is their announced National Nutrition Month. And so there's all kinds of information from the Academy of Nutrition about this topic that's out. And so you have a lot of people using this particular hashtag. And there is also, and there's Stephen right there. He's getting in on it. So soundboard messages are including this. We are certainly trying to get you found in this larger conversation. So keep that in mind, that it's pretty easy to find these larger hashtags. I kind of skipped ahead here a little bit, but that's a great way to find things and search for things topically. And the way that we do that at the Soundboard team is to look for nutrition hashtags April 2017, nutrition hashtags May 2017, and we'll see what's been planned. August is always more veggies, fruits and veggies month. And so, of course, we'll jump on that. But I think May is also National Grilling Month. So that's a great way to get yourself included in the healthy recipe conversation, a healthy cooking conversation. So we'll watch for those coming down the pipe, but it's pretty easy just to Google trending health hashtags or planned health hashtags for any given month, and you can find a lot of great resources out there about it. So again, to use a hashtag, you just start typing pound, and Twitter will start to offer you suggestions, right? Of course, you can make up your own. And then Twitter actually turns it into a live link for you. So I've actually we've searched for hashtag National Nutrition Month. I have created a tweet here, and it's already populated this for me, thinking that I wanted to include this. So we can leave that there, and let's just type, we're so excited about all the great info we're finding right now. And now I'm going to start another one. So we type pound, and you can just start typing. I'm going to end up with typing more veggies, but let's see what is offered, if anything else is offered. No. So we got more veggies and hashtag healthy. All right. And so there's some other suggested posts or suggested hashtags around that. So when we tweet that, of course, we're going to get seen in the National Nutrition Month conversation. And I bet if we even refresh this search, it would be in there at the top. So pretty cool way to leverage what's going on. And this is another way, just from a consumption standpoint on Twitter, this is how Twitter's so powerful in moments of historical change or social shift, because it's so immediate. And, if a hashtag, Germany bombing or JFK incident or something like that will catch on, or just even, whatever happens, hashtag JFK, hashtag Orlando. And if you're looking for those topics, then you'll be able to find things very quickly. And so this is how trends work. So on Twitter, because of the immediacy of the platform, trends pop up. Let's see what's trending now. So we're over here on the left side. So we've got Grey's Anatomy TV show, 80s weather songs. So sometimes funny things pop up. You just never know. Model a movie. This is probably people changing movie names to fit models in it. This all seems kind of TV or pop culture related. There's nothing particularly political or breaking newsworthy at the moment with trends. But this is always something that I think it's valuable to at least note if you're thinking I'm going to spend 15 minutes on Twitter trying to engage with people. Just take a look and see what's trending, because if there's something that you can roll into a healthy living conversation or just something you're interested in, then by all means jump on that trending tweet, include yourself in it, and get found. And this is a great way to pick up followers as well. Now, again, with the planned trends, just pay attention to what's going on. Let's just even go do a Google search right now and see what we find. Let's look for April 2017 health hashtags. This is how I found the National Nutrition Month. So we've got the World Congress on Public Health in 2017. The healthcare hashtag project, healthcare IT news. Nothing's jumping out. National days. These are always kind of fun because it'll tell you what's going on for any specific month, and so you can look for your month and then see if there's something that we could, in particular, focus on. So National Fresh Celery Month, National Garden Month. That's a great way to roll in some tower garden messaging. This is for April that I'm looking at right now. Stress Awareness Month. So pretty easy things to National Public Health Week, first full week in April. So again, then you can look for those particular things, Google those particular topics, and look for hashtags around those, which we will do certainly on the soundboard for you, but it's also good to include yourself in those conversations. Okay, now let's think a little bit about your audience. Okay, so now we've talked about how to get found by having good content. We've talked about how to figure out what is the content du jour, and if it's something you're interested in, how to include yourself in larger conversations. So now, how do you figure out who your audience is and what's going on with your audience? All right. So first thing we do need to talk about on Twitter is followers. Now, you've heard me probably say in the past that on Twitter, your follower count is not your ultimate measure of success on the platform. And this is very true. It does not matter if you only have 92 followers or 172 followers or however many. Don't think of yourself as a small account, and don't think of yourself as only capable of talking to those handful of people, because, as you saw the way hashtags work, everything you do on Twitter is public. You are going to be rubbing elbows with people from all over the world. You are not only talking to your follower network. Now, that being said, there are a few invisible restrictions that Twitter puts in place that you've got to do if you are going to try to grow on this platform. Okay, and I didn't list the first one here. We talked about it last week, but I'm going to say it again because I just read an article that Twitter made an announcement. Today's Thursday, on Monday, about this, and it is that they are taking steps to retool their algorithm to crack down on hate speech and inflammatory speech, which is, of course, is a good thing. But tucked away in that announcement was that they are going to continue to downgrade the egghead accounts on Twitter. So again, I implore you, if your account is an egghead, you are about to be severely punished by Twitter to the point of your stuff may not even be seen at all, because they're trying to cut down on fake accounts. So Esther, if you're on the call, sorry to pick on you. Y'all have got to do that. All right. So once you've done that, now there's an invisible threshold here that Twitter doesn't publicize as much, but it is the 50 follower count. There's 199,000 kids on Twitter that have fake accounts that have 12 followers that that they use to either lurk or stalk or make fake accounts for jokes or whatever. But Twitter doesn't care what those accounts have to say. And so if you have less than 50 followers, the likelihood of you showing up in a hashtag National Nutrition Month search is very low. In fact, maybe next to impossible. So we've got to get you over this threshold so that your account can get found alongside the Stephen Ritzes of the world, and whoever Angel is. He's the media spokesperson for the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. He's one of the brains behind this whole movement. So there you go. So how do you get to that 50 follower count? That is an important, small, easy bar to clear. So here's how to do it the right way. The right way is go follow real people who you care about and who you're interested in, particularly people in your area. Okay, so if your friends are on Twitter, by all means, follow them. Follow other people in your Juice Plus network, and follow things. Go find things that you care about around you, and see who follows them. So go find your local farmers market. Go find your local climbing gym. Go find your local 5K organization. Go find a cycling club. Whatever you're interested in, go see who follows that account and then follow those people. So here's Stephen. Who does Stephen follow? Or who's following Stephen? These are probably like-minded people. I know he's kind of a big deal, so he's probably got some news anchors and things like that following him. The point is, if you're interested in Beyonce, by all means, go follow her, but she's not going to follow you back, all right? But somebody like Rich probably has a lot of interesting things to say. He's a travel specialist. He's a dad. He's a children's rights advocate. You could follow Rich, and he would probably follow you back. The point is to get follows, you got to go follow people, and you've got to go follow real people. I have found a great group of people to follow is my local news anchors. I have found them to be a very engaging group of people who are happy to share area information about what's going on. They know that their 6 o'clock newscast is pretty pitiful. I live in Mississippi, so you can imagine. But if you follow them on Twitter, they're really engaging, and they follow me back. And I have done it for all 3 networks, and like morning, noon, and afternoon anchors and night anchors. And I have this incredible Twitter list set up now of all my local news, and I don't have to watch the news, but I know what's going on. So go do that. What you don't need to do is there are 1,005 services that you could find right this minute that will sell you followers on Twitter. Do not succumb to the temptation. You are going to pay $40 or $50, and you will get 20,000 followers overnight. What happens, though, is that Twitter knows exactly what you did, and you are not buying 20,000 actual human people to follow you who care about you. You are buying 20,000 bot fake accounts to click the follow button on you in mass. So Twitter actually severely punishes accounts that do this, in that your reach dramatically declines. You do not show up in searches. We have clients, businesses that are still trying to dig their way out of having bad advice put before them by past agencies. And so by all means, do not do this. The other thing that can happen is that Twitter does a lot of bot sweeps, and they shut these accounts down without warning. And so you can go to bed with 20,000 followers one night and wake up with 14,000 followers, because all you're doing is buying a vanity number. And it's a truly meaningless thing. It does not drive engagement. It does not drive more people following you because of a result of that. So steer clear is pointless. Also, Twitter being an open platform, this is not like Facebook where you got to question who starts to follow you. You are going to pick up some randos, and that's a good thing. The whole point, remember, Twitter is the cocktail party. Now, because it is such an open platform, you are going to pick up people who you have no clue who they are. And also you may think, I don't know if I want people to think of me as associating with that account. All right. So I try to do a fairly good job of keeping this account, because it's so public, swept pretty clean. But if you find an account that you think, where'd that come from? I would say don't worry about it. Leave it alone. It's not a problem. If you find an account that is one of these, here I'm going to pick on James here. James he may be a real person, but this is one of these services helping network marketers generate leads and cash flow. This guy's probably selling Twitter followers. Yeah, look, how would it feel to get 4 million people seeing your tweets each month? Click here to find out how. This guy has nothing to offer me. All right, now I'm just going to pick on him and show you how to do this. So obviously this is not an inappropriate or illicit account, but you can do something if you find someone who follows you that you don't want to associate with. So you hit these buttons here and you've got a couple of choices. You can mute him, which means he still follows you, but you can't see anything that he does. And if he tweeted at you, you wouldn't see it. You can block him, which means he gets a notification that you can't interact with him at all, and he cannot now see anything that you do. You can also report. Now, this happens very rarely, but if it's something illicit or, even God forbid, pornographic, you can report it and Twitter will investigate and probably shut it down if they don't change it. So I'm just going to pick on James here. We don't need what he's got to sell. We're not buying followers, so we're going to block him. He will no longer be able to follow or message you, and you will not see notifications. All right. So we'll do that, and then he's out and away. And if we were to refresh this and come back, we would not see his account anymore. So just, I'd say, be aware, keep track of who follows you. I wouldn't spend too much time combing through it from a perspective of trying to take people out. But I certainly would spend some time going through, and I haven't done this as lately, as you can see, but when appropriate, follow people back, just like you want them to do it. I don't even know what this language is, but this is clearly fitness and health. So I should go back through and follow these people who followed me. Now, I'm hesitant. I know I saw Leanne's name on the soundboard sign up. I know she's a subscriber, so I'm going to follow her. But I don't know this person from a hole in the wall. Same with Anne Marie here. This to me looks like a fake Twitter account. Is it hurting me that she's following me? No. I'm not going to do anything with that, but I'm certainly not going to follow that person back. So when somebody who is appropriate follows you, now here's two people who are, I don't recognize this name. Oh, Juice plus Jasmine. Is that compliant? I bet not. But they have locked accounts. This is what we talked about last week. Why would I want to follow her? Because I've got to get permission to follow her. That is so pointless. I don't care about that. I don't want to do that. So reason number 912, not to lock your account. So go through, figure out who's following you, follow them back as a courtesy. If you have some kind of connection to them, and that's a great way to grow your account. Now, the big thing, what do? You have filled out your Twitter profile. You know how to tweet. You know what the soundboard's doing for you. You know how to figure out what trends are occurring out there. You know how to build a follower base. What do you do with all of these things that happen to you? What is the etiquette for this? So let's stay on top of our notifications here. As people like your tweets, so let's start with likes. Martha and PT like to tweet about hashtag fitness tip, excuse me. All right, so Martha, we already follow Martha. All right, so that's the first thing you can do. Just hover over whatever the account is. PT Informer, a not-for-profit site dedicated to bringing the Nest curated news reviews. Do you think that should be best curated news reviews and articles into one place for personal trainers? I don't care about that. I'm not going to follow that person back. Now, some people retweeted us. Let's see. Jeffrey's a keen foodie, organic foodie. He writes about superfood smoothies at his blog spot. Let's follow Jeffrey. Now let's try to make a connection here with Jeffrey. Let's see. He has taken the time to retweet us. What's he retweeted? What's so great about hashtag whole food based nutrition? Your body runs better with high quality fuel. All right, so let's go and investigate this a little bit. What does this tweet look like? Nice picture of veggies there. All right. So let's figure out what makes Jeffrey tick, because we're on the hunt here. We want to close the deal. So Jeffrey, at first glance, does not seem to be a Juice Plus necessarily consumer, but he's very much interested in lots of healthy recipes. He retweeted our great tweet about whole food nutrition. So let's tweet at Jeffrey. And let's say, all right, so you see what I did? I hit the tweet to button. A composed tweet box pops up with Jeff's name in it. And remember, Twitter at the beginning's light surface. Let's say, got any great smoothie recipes for National Nutrition Month? So what are we doing here? We're gonna engage with Jeffrey. We're going to get noticed by people using hashtag National Nutrition Month, and hopefully we're going to start a conversation here. He seems like a nice guy. Seems like a good Twitterer. I bet we hear back from him, maybe even in the next couple minutes. We'll see. All right, so now we've sent Jeffrey a tweet trying to make those connections, and when he tweets back, we will get the notification here. So when I think about how do I capitalize on the engagement that happens, that's the way I think about it is, first of all, what was the action that they took? Did they follow me? Okay, then by all means, I want to follow them back if appropriate. If they liked or retweeted, I want to see what caught their eye. Excuse me. So when we figure that out, there's our conversation point to jump from. Right? It was very easy to tell with Jeffrey. He cares clearly about healthy cooking and whole food. And so we were able to hit him in his sweet spot of his smoothie recipe thing. And that I can pretty much guarantee is going to turn into a conversation. Now we've got down here, we tweeted hashtag fit. This is the same one that Jeffrey up here liked, Nick to the plus. He responded, we have a farmer's market in New Braunfels. I'll go this weekend. And so now we can respond to Nick and say, hey, I love New Braunfels. Went to the Schlitterbahn, which is a water park there, when I was a kid. All right. So let's respond to Nick's engagement. See if we can get a conversation going about who knows what. Who knows where it'll go. Just have fun with it. Keep it light. This is an example of somebody setting up some kind of auto responder. So I followed this account, Jennifer JB Good Health, And I personally find this to be a little bit cheesy and false. It does not make me want to respond to Jennifer because I got this loaded auto thing that if I were to click on this, I don't know what would happen. Now, I don't think it's spam. I mean, I don't think it's like malware, but I get very hesitant about clicking on that kind of stuff. So, Jennifer, if you're on the call, sorry to pick on you. I would recommend turning that off. Here's an example of the other day. Tweeted about an afternoon pick-me-up with ginseng tea. And Jacqueline responded, wow, I didn't know ginseng could give you an extra energy boost. I'll have to remember that next time I do a 10-day shred. I didn't know really where to go with that. And so I just liked it. And so when I did that, I acknowledged to Jacqueline that, hey, I saw that you mentioned it. Thank you for doing that. And, I wasn't really trying to work an angle there. So I just kind of left that alone. So as these tweets start coming through, as the engagement picks up, and again, if you are just getting started and you have 4 followers, don't despair. It will take a little bit of time. This is a marathon. This is not a sprint. But make sure your profile looks good. Go out there, try to build up that follower base a little bit, and your notifications will look like this in no time. And I think that you'll be very pleasantly surprised with how many organic followers that you pick up along the way. So that brings us to our 2 minutes over the half-hour mark for this week. Moira, I will unmute you and see, or if anybody has any thoughts, comments, questions about this, we can take them through the chat window. Moira, do you have any parting thoughts?
No, except that I really learned a lot from this, James, and I took copious notes, so thank you so much.
Sure, happy to do it.
I really learned a lot. Does anybody, let's see, Marie, where's the cat?
Where's the cat? Yeah, cat's missing. The kids got ushered out of the bedroom, and the door got closed before the cat could sneak in tonight. Glad that you got a lot out of this, Marie. Very good. Glad to hear it.
Thank you, James. Does anybody else have any questions? If not, we're going to let James go. All right.
Okay, we'll see y'all next week. Next week, we'll be talking about Facebook and how to turn that big old Facebook network that you've got into a warm market. So see y'all then.
Thanks, James. Okay. Have a good week. And you and I'll talk, right, about your idea?
Let's do that. I'll box you tomorrow.
Yeah, my oldest sister had a stroke. So
goodness.
I was really, but she's doing much better. So okay. I'm ready to go anytime you are.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks.
Thanks so much.
All right.
Bye-bye.